I'm not. I can't afford to not record. Welcome to season 6 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast, where we believe that you deserve the space to just be. I'm so excited to share another season with you, packed with fresh perspectives, practical tools, and inspiration to enhance your already amazing self. I hope you enjoy the new content just as much as I've loved bringing it to you. Stay inspired and always remember to be your own kind. Well, hello, Nina. How are you today?
Oh, I am happy to see you, Nita. Very happy to see you.
Oh, I love that. I'm happy to see you too, Nina, Nita.
I know. I know.
Yes. Fall is coming. I know you're in Boston has winter, right?
Oh, yes, we definitely
Okay.
have winter. We have a
Okay.
beautiful fall, a gorgeous
Ooh.
fall, reds, oranges, like
Hmm.
exquisite, like the postcards. And then we have a very crappy winter.
Okay. Much like Chicago. All right.
hmm
Love
Except,
that. Love that.
Chicago, the windy city. You get the wind more than we do.
Yes. And I live right by the lake. So I get all that lake effect, every last bit of it. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. So I am the founder of Body Peace, and I'm a body peace coach. And I work with women who are struggling in their relationship with their body and food. Women who know all the things, because we all know all the things that I'm putting this in air quotes, that we're supposed to do, that we should do, the ways that we're supposed to eat, or the way we're supposed to move our body, or the ways we're supposed to look, or the weight that we're supposed to be. And so I
Mhm.
work with women who have been in this struggle, in the roller coaster of, let me try to manage my body, let me try to manage my food, and then feeling really bad, feeling a lot of shame, feeling a lot of failure, about feeling like they're not treating themselves in the way that they really wish they would. And so I'm working with women and their relationship with their body and food.
And I love that. What I was gonna say off record, and I'm like, let me record. Is I never even thought about relationship when it comes to my body. So I thought that, like, when I was reading your website, I thought that was an interesting take. Like, it's kind of like, okay, my body is a part of me, but I don't think about how I treat it, how I feel about
Mm-hmm.
it, things of that sort. So it kind of put me in the mind of relationship with my body. Interesting.
So, Nita, that is central to my work, and to really having a positive relationship with yourself is going, yes, this is a relationship. In fact, it's the longest relationship you will ever have in your life. You are born into this body and you will die in this body. This is the relationship that is the make or break relationship of your life. And let me ask you, when you feel good in your body and you feel like you're feeling all that, what happens in the rest of your life?
I feel amazing. Like life is amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
Life is amazing. You literally create, be your own kind. You are your own kind when you
Right.
feel at home in your body and you're feeling good in your own skin. And when you're not feeling that way, what happens?
I'm laying in bed. I'm crappy, very
Yeah,
irritated. Yeah.
exactly. Right. When that relationship isn't humming along, it then impacts everything else. We walk into the world feeling irritable. We walk into the world feeling like we're not enough. We don't shine our light. We are not our own kind out in the world because we're feeling like, I'm just not feeling it.
Right.
And so this work, body peace work, is about how do we create this relationship, because all relationships have rupture, right? You've got a partner, you've got a parent, you've got a kid. There's always rupture. There's always a bit of a disagreement. But good relationships repair. All relationships rupture, but good relationships can repair, right? So when you're getting along with your kid, your partner, your parent, and then something goes wrong, there's enough of a goodwill account. There's enough of a sense of we care about each other. We
Right.
want the best for each other to then create repair. Same with our body. Many women have had some kind of rupture in the relationship with their body. Either there was trauma, sexual abuse, violence, or and There was somebody telling them they were too big and that they should go on a diet, or doctors shaming them, or there was illness or injury. All these things create rupture in that relationship. But our culture doesn't say, great, okay, you've got a rupture. Now come to therapy and we'll repair it like you do with the partner. Yeah, we're not getting along. I really want this marriage to work. I really want this relationship to work. Let's go to therapy. Let's work on it. No, our culture goes, oh, you don't like your body. You're not getting along here. Here's another diet. Lose 7 pounds in 7 days and ta-da, you'll be all better, which we all know is so untrue. We all know, we've all tried it. So this idea that you are like, oh, that's interesting. This idea of relationship is so central to actually healing how we feel in our body.
I love that. I love the word relationship, because it's like when I know with exercise, that's always my thing. It's like I don't feel like it, but when I look at relationship, like, okay, in order to feel good and this, and like a couple of minutes of some type of activity will lift your spirits. Like I think the perspective of relationship kind of just put a light bulb over my head, and how there's a lot, the body positivity, as with a lot of trends, are very saturated. And it's basically like, I love myself for who I am, take me as I am, I don't need to correct this and that. But if you are unhealthy, even with you in the midst of loving you who you are, you're still uncomfortable in that, to a sense, if you still have in the back of your mind, but I love how I am, but I'm looking at her and she's smaller, I'm looking at her and she's taller, I love her smile, and it's like, okay, we can say on surface I'm comfortable in my body, but there are things about us we're not comfortable with, and there's nothing wrong with, like you said, trying to repair your thoughts on that, because we're stuck with our smile, we're stuck with our height, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, how do we be comfortable in that fact?
Well, it's interesting that you bring up the whole body positivity movement, and I appreciate it. I think it's changing the conversation in our culture, but I actually don't think it's exactly what we need, because I'm not positive about everything. I don't wake up every day and be like, yes, every single day I feel fantastic. Every single day I love every wrinkle and every roll. Like, it feels too aspirational, right? The whole body love movement, like, oh, I'm going to love myself everything. It's just not real life. We don't, like, even our beloved pets, sometimes they annoy us, right? So this idea of body positive and body love, it's great. It's changing the way our culture talks, but I think now it's time to get more nuanced and be in an actual honest relationship. I don't expect my relationship with my partner to be positive every single second. That's not real life. So let's have a real relationship with our body. And that's why body peace to me is much more powerful, because it's not like, yay, now I'm positive and now I'm like a gymnast and I've stuck my landing. I am Simone Biles and I am never moving my feet now. I will always be body positive. I will always be body love. That's just not the way life is. So if we can actually be in the practice of body peace, it's a practice. It's not a destination. It's like we practice being kind and caring and loving in our life. We don't arrive there and suddenly we are great humans every single second of every single day, because we have feelings. And same with our body. We have feelings. And so sometimes we're eating because we have feelings. And sometimes we're feeling bad about ourselves because we're feeling bad about something else. But it's easier to blame and shame ourselves. So it's complex, just like relationships are complex.
I love everything about this. So now that we're mentioning body peace, let's get into what body peace is and why. Well, you just kind of touched upon why it's needed. So can you give us a little bit more insight into body peace?
Yeah. So as I said, body peace is a practice, right? It's not a destination. You don't suddenly go, great, I'm going to shake my hand and we will be at peace forever. It's just, like then you trip and you sprain your ankle and you're like, really? I don't feel so peaceful with myself right now. It's just not true in terms of arriving somewhere as a destination. So what we want is to be in the practice of body peace. And what that is being caring, compassionate, nourishing, supportive, respectful, kind, right? It means being an ally to ourselves. It means being an advocate for ourselves. It means asking ourselves the question, so what would nourish me right now? Or what do I need right now? It means considering your body, not like, let's go back to this thing that you said about exercise. So, two things. One, I want to say, skip the word exercise. Let's just go with movement, because our culture has laid down so many like assumptions on what exercise is and what isn't exercise and how one should exercise. Let's forget the exercise idea and go with this idea that bodies move. We're designed, literally, we have hinges, we have joints, we are designed to move. Okay, so given that here's this incredible miracle of a machine that moves, movement might be a fun thing to do sometimes. But if we're in this place of I have to and I should, a natural part of us, the angry sometimes, but really the rebellious part, the part that we all have that goes, don't tell me what to do. You're saying that? No, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do this other thing, right? It's our 15-year-old, our inner 15-year-old that goes, so what? I don't care what you think. I'm going to do what I want to do, right? So, Nita, you have this voice that goes, you should exercise. And up comes the inner rebel that goes, don't tell me what to do. I'm tired, right? So let's go for a different conversation, right? Inner voice comes up, goes, you should exercise. And then you go, oh, I hear my should voice. I hear the voice of the culture that says, to be healthy, one must, I don't know, start taking up running. Not my thing, but okay. So I'm supposed to take up running. So, okay, so let's say that's the should voice. Then we can go, well, wait a second. Do I want to do that? No. Would it feel good to move somehow? Right? It's a gentler conversation. Yeah, I would like to move. How would you like to move? In what way would be easy, would be relaxed, would be joyful? What way of movement? Right? What makes you feel relaxed in your body and open and lets you feel like your body is doing all its, joints moving, miracle things that it does, right? For some people, it's putting on music in the house and dancing. I love being in water. I find it incredibly relaxing. So I swim. That's my thing, right? Some people love to run, right? I have a niece and she's like, put on those sneakers and just let me run and listen to loud music. And that's her thing. But it doesn't have to be a something. It gets to be your thing. It's exactly in alignment with your be your own kind. It's your own kind of movement.
Right. I love that. And that goes back to relationships. So say for instance, for dinner, you don't just go get something and don't ask the other person what they have a taste for. So it's kind of like, once again, and I always say this, we are so considerate of others before we are considerate of ourselves. And just like we give people the choice of comfortability, we should actually extend that to ourselves. And so that's kind of what I'm gathering, from Body Pieces, is giving yourself some okay. You like, I like to walk. That's my thing. I can walk forever, and it's like in nature. And so when I do walk, I had bought a camera, I take pictures, and that's why I love fall so much, because like we said, offline, fall is beautiful colors, and so it's not even exercise to me at that point, because I'm walking to the next extravagant, God creation, you know what I'm saying? So, just making everything is not one size fit all. And I feel like when we block out the outside noises of what everything should be, because you are correct, very rebellious. Don't tell me what to do.
We all have it.
Right. When it feels like it's my choice, I'm more easy on doing it. Yeah, the reluctance comes when it's like, you have to eat this much, or you have to do this, or you have to be this certain way, or then growing up, it's like, well, fat girls don't get married, and things, because I've always been heavy set, and that stuff like grows up with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said I never thought of relationship. It's the same as if I'm downing my friend every day, we may not be friends for too long. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like feel like maybe there's a war, which I want to get into that. Like there's a war within the thoughts of how we feel about our body. And for anyone that is warring with their body, which I feel like we all are, what is the spark to like combat that?
Yeah. So in any conflict, right, what do we need to start to resolve the conflict is dialogue. We need to start talking to one another, right? Mostly people are in conflict because they can't hear what's happening on the other side. They can't hear what the other person is feeling. So, Nita, you want to try something with me?
Sure.
Okay. So close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and take a big breath and whisper or say out loud into your body, hello, body.
Hello, body.
And just notice, what does it feel like? And if you're listening to this, do the same thing. Hand on your heart, big breath, and whispering in. It might feel a little silly at first, but whispering in, hello, body.
Hello, body. I don't know. I feel like an easiness on my shoulders here.
Yes, exactly that, right? Our body goes, oh my gosh, someone's connecting with me. Oh, you're saying hello. Just like Nita, you and I met, and I was like, hi. We start the conversation. You're important to me. I'm important to you. My body's important to me, right? We want to have that conversation with our body. We want to be in the hello, body. Oh, okay, what am I sensing? What do I feel inside? Because so often, like you spoke about a minute ago, we're taking care of everybody else. We're living from the neck up in our head. What does this person need? What does that person need? How do I take care of this one? How do I take care of that one? Hello, body turns us back to ourselves and prioritizes and even just marks that we are having a relationship with ourselves and that relationship matters. That when we're busy hustling to make everybody happy and put dinner on the table for this one or that one, or, check in with everybody else, hello, body helps us check in with our own body. And that helps in a lot of different ways. It helps just start a kinder conversation instead of, oh, I'm passing the mirror and I'm like, oh no, my belly, right? That's not a fun conversation. Hello, body is a opener to a much more fun conversation.
Yes.
And right. And then also what it does is it can help us navigate food a little more because we're eating, we're in a stimulating restaurant. We've got friends and everybody's eating and talking and you're like barely even noticing like what you're eating. You stop and go, hello, body. It's like, wait, am I full? Am I hungry? Or am I in the mood to eat? Right? I see a lot of people going, well, what are you ordering? Well, what are you ordering? Ask yourself, what do I want to eat? What would feel nourishing? What would feel supportive to me? What does this body need and want?
I like that. I'm hinging on the relationship. I love this perspective. I'm eating it up. Yes. And so I know that you also have an app. So and my question is, what inspired you to create the app, which I can kind of get a sense of it, and how does it reflect your personal journey with body image and self-compassion?
Yeah. So I created a body peace app because a lot of my clients, so I work with women individually and I work in groups and I teach courses.
Oh.
And we were the different women where we were doing Facebook groups. We were doing this group. We're sort of all over the place. And some people didn't want to be Facebook. And I wanted somewhere that we could gather. So I was like, great, we'll create a community on an app. So that was one motivating factor. And the other one was I was often given resources, body peace meditations, body peace, inspiration, body peace replays of the program that we had just done, or the compassionate eating course, or the body listening course. And I wanted them to have it in their hands, not looking for it somewhere in the computer. Wasn't there something that Nina said about? No, there it is in an app in your hand. And so that inspired me to create an app, the Body Peace app. And what it does is it helps women stay connected to the practice of body peace. And there's a few things in there that are really helpful ways to start on the body peace path. And one is I have a journal. It's Practicing Body Peace Journal. And in it, I write body peace poems. I write poems about our relationship with our body. And so in that journal, there's 5 poems, but more importantly, there's 20 questions that I would ask you if we were in a session. 20 questions about your relationship with your body. How are you getting along? When did this kind of relationship start? How would you describe the relationship you have with your body? So there's that resource, which is super helpful and free. And then there's another resource, which is the Body Peace Masterclass. And that's also free. And what that gets into, like how we're talking about body peace, we are always in a relationship with our body. The reality is in our culture, we're given 2 choices of how to be in our body. We can hate our body and feel bad about it and shame. That's body hate and body shame. And then we can go, you know what? I don't want to feel so bad anymore. Let me manage it. Let me get on a diet. Let me train for some marathon. Let me, go on this cleanse or detox. And those are the choices that we're given as a culture. And then we fail at that because 98% of diets fail. And no, all diets actually fail, but 98% of people who go on diets gain their weight back, if not more, in 2 to 5 years. And the most common outcome for dieting is weight cycling and disordered eating. So what happens is we go, okay, I want to manage this situation. I'm going to fix my body. I'm going to do something. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to be healthy. And I'm going to pull those boots up by their bootstrap and I'm going to get serious. And that's body management. And that's one of the relationships that our culture says, great, yay, you. But then, of course, because of those statistics around dieting not working and causing harm, we end up back in body hate and body shame. And so in the Body Peace Masterclass, we talk about other relationships that are actually possible for us, body peace being one of them. And so that class is free and it gets into the different kinds of relationship we really want to have with our body.
I think it's interesting because I don't know if I'm alone at this, but I never even thought of a relationship with body. Now I'm thinking we're taught to have a relationship with ourselves, but to separate the different parts of us because we're body, mind, and soul. It's like maybe separating them, having 3 separate relationships with these things. I don't know. I don't think I'm articulating it correctly, but it just kind of feel like maybe it's good to separate that and not put the mind with the body, the spirit with the body, or the body, vice versa. Just kind of feel like maybe developing these relationships separately, strengthening them, and in turn you can feel more whole. There we go. You can feel more whole. So my mind could never want what my body wants. My spirit could never want what my mind wants. So it's nurturing 3 relationships simultaneously, if I'm articulating correctly.
It is. There's a psychological school of thought that I use in my work called internal family systems. And the idea is that we have different parts of us. We're a whole human, but there's different parts of us, right? There's our body, there's our critical part, there's our internal cheerleader, there's our part that's parroting things we heard from our mother, there's the part that's believing that you won't be in a relationship that because you're in a larger body. There's all different parts of us. And we want to hear all those parts because sometimes what happens when we don't listen and we go, I don't want to hear from you, body. Our body then shows up in sort of unwanted ways. Like, well, I don't care that you don't want to hear from me. I'm hungry and I'm going to eat the entire bag of whatever. You didn't listen to when I said I was hungry 2 hours ago. Now I'm so hungry and my blood sugar's tanked and I'm just going to eat whatever's in front of me. So what happens when we ignore parts of ourselves? It happens with our feelings too, right? When we're angry and we go, no, I don't want to be angry. And then suddenly somebody says something really benign and we're like, snap. And we're like, whoa, where'd that come from? Well, we were angry and we didn't pay attention to that part of us. So in internal family systems, it's this idea that when we listen to all these different parts of us, we can then integrate and feel more whole and feel more like ourself that is curious and caring and connected and clear, right?
Yeah.
So in that kind of perspective, this idea of saying, oh, the part of me that's my body, our body has all other parts within it, but to really say, yes, this is a relationship I want to have with the home that I'm in. This is my home. This is the only
Right.
home I get.
Right. And it's funny that you say that, because even though all three parts need different things, they affect each other.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Because when you suppress things, that's where illness comes in at. You know what I'm saying? Or, like you said, if you're not feeling good in your body, now your mind is not feeling good. You're
Yeah.
depressed and downtrodden. So it's that's why I was like, man, maybe you segment the relationships, but you integrate them at the same time, because everything is connected. Because at the end of the day, is you.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
when we can just have this conversation with our body, we honor that part of us and then we feel more integrated.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It kind of makes you feel, because I feel like sometimes we have a lot of out of body experiences because we don't consider every part.
Yes.
Like maybe we're nurturing our mind, because there's a lot of talk about mental health, but it's not a lot of talk like this, where body health, not body health in the sense of how you treat your body versus, medical. Anytime I
Yes.
think of body health, I'm going to the doctor and they telling me bad news or maybe good news, but it's more about anatomy and not
Yeah.
about how I'm treating my actual body, or how more, or like centering and figuring out what my body actually needs.
Yeah. And what's really powerful about cultivating this relationship, this body compassion, this connected, supportive, caring, peaceful relationship with our body, the more that we do that, the more likely we are to take the actions that actually support our anatomy.
Hmm.
Right? So, because I
Hmm.
loved how you pulled apart, like, okay, there's the anatomy. I go up to the doctor and I go, oh, my shoulder's hurting. Right? And then there's this relationship with our body that we're talking about. But when we're in this connected relationship, I'm listening. Oh, my shoulder's a little off. That's interesting. Maybe I need to rest. Maybe I need to not swim today. Maybe I need to put some hot on it. Maybe I need to put some cold on. I'm listening to my body. I'm honoring. I'm not ignoring. I'm not like, whatever, just power through, keep swimming, right? I'm
Hmm.
listening. And this is an analogy for many things, but I'll just use myself, my shoulders, and my swimming because it's always present for me. And then I go, oh, I am in relationship with my body. I'm listening to her. I'm honoring her. I'm taking care of her. And so, because I'm in a relationship, an emotional, caring, nourishing, authentic relationship with my body, and I'm not trying to manage or control her, then my actions are such that I actually am helping my anatomy.
I love that. I love that. And speaking of relationship, now what it is popular and trending is relationship with food. Now that's what I've
Mm-hmm.
heard, relationship with food. And I know that we briefly touched upon offline about the stresses of eating, especially during the holidays. I mean, it's stressful sometimes just for gatherings, like you mentioned earlier, but the last quarter of the year, and you're trying to eat right and you're trying to stay, keep that momentum from that summer body and stuff, like it gets a little hard,
It's
but
a foodie time of the year.
yes, it is. And so how does a person navigate through that?
Yeah. So it's a great question because we are presented with different experiences that might trigger us, that might make us feel a certain way, right? And part of that comes from our culture. So let's just line up the holidays, right? We've got Halloween with the candy, and then all the culture is saying, oh, don't eat the candy, right? Then we've got Thanksgiving, which is woo, get all the family together, no matter what their relationships are with each other, with every kind of food on the table, with, like feelings riding high. Okay, so that's its own complexity, right? Then you're walking into all the winter holidays, whichever one you celebrate. And there you've got like family traditions. And again, possibly family together, plus a whole slew of parties going up to it, right? So you've got social experience, you've got social like experiences, social opportunities, and social stressors. You've got kind of special kinds of food, right? That can be like, well, this is the only time of year I'll never get this again. And this is it. And just this thing and just this, right? We've got all the sort of specialness and tradition of food. And we also have the culture, the diet culture telling us, careful, careful. Don't want to be gaining weight over the holidays. So this is a really, really powerful and important time to connect deeply with your own body. So I teach a course called Compassionate Eating. And one of the things that we do in there is figure out, how do I have this relationship with self, my body, and my food in the face of all of this stimulus that's kind of pulling us from ourselves, right? Oh, I come into Thanksgiving and my aunt is looking at me like, you're going to eat that? You're going to have seconds? You're going to have what? Wait, what? Don't you know that da 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 and cholesterol and blah 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 and blah blah, right? And you're like, oh man, right? I don't know if I'm hungry or if I'm full. I'm just in reaction to being told what to do and that I'm not okay. So in all of these holidays and in all of the stimulus, and it's really important actually to underline, it is a really stimulating time. It is a high nervous system energy time. We're like on high alert a lot. Is we need to, one, tend to our nervous system, right? How do I take care of my nervous system, calm myself, do soothing practices? And how do I listen in? How do I go, do I want that food? Is that yummy for me? Does this feel like a plate that would nourish me? Am I being really restrictive with myself because I'm afraid of criticism? Do I not want to eat in front of other people because of what other people will say? Do I then go home and binge because I feel like, oh, well, I didn't get what I wanted because I was afraid of judgment. So then I went home and took care of all my feelings and then binged at home, right? We want to slow the action down with ourselves. And some of the practical things that can help, again, you sit down at the table, hello, body. You're eating the candy, you sit down. Like literally sit down when you eat. It does a couple things. It immediately, okay, I'm sitting down, and then we're noticing I'm eating. I'm actually eating, because so often in these kind of situations, we eat and we don't even know we're eating.
True.
The plate's empty and we're like, wait, what happened? Let me get more. Sit and then, hello, body. Okay. And then looking at your food. Hello, food. Oh, I'm choosing this food. And then taste it. Do I even like this food? Right? And all of that requires coming back into relationship with yourself, back into relationship with yourself. And that's what I call my hello body technique, right? Hello body, hello food, and then hello pleasure, because it should be yummy. It should be delicious. We want to be enjoying. And when we enjoy and say hello pleasure and relax in ourselves, it helps our nervous system come down.
Wow, I don't even have I don't have any backup for that one. Just being mindful, because you're right. When I can think, I was thinking of like Christmas. You got the little cookies in a little saucer and the little pretzels, and you just pick up, eat, talk, not even paying attention to how much you're eating because you're in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in relationship with someone else, which is a wonderful thing to be.
Right.
It's a great thing to be in relationship with other people. And how do I come back to relationship with myself? And then sometimes we end up eating the whole bowl of pretzels or whatever. And then what's required is self-compassion. Wow, it was a holiday. I got totally out of my own body and into the everybody else talking. And I went on automatic.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happens. Congratulations. It was festive eating. Moving on, right? Moving on versus, I'm so terrible. I can't believe I did that. Tomorrow I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to be really restrictive now. No, we don't want to do that because we know that doesn't work. It just puts us into body management, and then we get tight with ourselves, we get restrictive with ourselves, and then we go, forget that. I don't want to be that way. And then, woohoo, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And then we feel like a failure. And that's the diet cycle that we go, many people go around and around on that diet cycle. And one of the things I want to say is that can end. We can really end the diet cycle by cultivating this relationship with our own body.
I feel like you figured some things out, Nina.
It's taken me a few years.
So, do you have any personal, like, I'm sure because you started this, any a personal story that even help lead you to body peace and creating it? And,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I was the queen of body war. I grew up, I literally was at Weight Watchers when I was 9 years old. And at that time, my mom was like, oh, this is the healthy way to eat. Let's go be healthy together. She didn't know if she was starting, all great intention. She didn't realize she was starting me on a lifelong journey of going on diets, going off diets, going on diets, going off diets. Because the relationship that I learned with my body was to manage it. But who wants to be managed and controlled all the time? Nobody. And so I would always go off the diet and feel like a failure. And so much of my energy was caught in that diet cycle and not feeling good about myself and not feeling enough. I'm not thin enough. I'm not whatever enough. And it literally like sucked the life out of me. And finally, that tape was so strong and so persistent in my head of I didn't eat the right thing and I should diet and I should do this thing that I got bored of it. I got so like just demoralized by it that it was boring. And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot spend another year of my life worrying about what I just ate, what diet I'm going to start on Monday, and how my body looks. This has got to stop. And so what happened was I started working on my own relationship with food and body. And it also was amplified because at that time I was a body worker. I was doing massage. So I had my hands on women every day, hearing their stories, hearing how they felt about their bodies. And that led me to going back and get to school, getting a master's, becoming a therapist. And then I was still struggling. And then I started having kids. And I said to myself, no, I am not passing on this legacy of body hate and body shame. I'm not doing it. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to really learn how to do this. And I went to nutrition school and I was like, I'll just figure out what the right thing is to eat and then I'll fix it. And of course, that wasn't the answer either. And what I realized, it was this real, yes, it matters what we put in our body. It's just like it matters what kind of gas you put in your car, right? It matters what we put in our body. And it also matters how we feel about our body. So it was both the therapeutic piece of my work and the nutrition piece of the work. And how do we experience ourselves, right? The body work piece. Are we feeling tight? Are we feeling relaxed? Are we able to even listen to the sensations that we have in our body? So that's what I call the nourishment dynamic. All these ways that we are with our body and how we nourish ourselves in all these different levels. And so that work, and then I got into body trust work and psychology of eating work, and I eventually created this body peace work, which I feel is really what women need more than like, woohoo, I'm going to be in love with my body. It feels authentic and it feels sustainable. Right? It feels like even when we get older, even if our body changes size, even if we get ill or injured, we can still have a caring relationship with our body.
It's the sustainable for me. It's the sustainable for me. Because you're right with the dieting and with the changes in life. I'm not as as whatever I was in my 20s, I'm definitely not in my 40s, you know what I'm saying? And being
Yeah.
comfortable in that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Yeah. So
It
yeah, I
is.
love the sustainability and just hearing your background of how you talk with women. Wow, because when I'm getting massaged, I do feel like I'm more in touch with my body, and all the
Hmm.
aches and pains start just popping up every time she touched something, and then she can just say, "You're stressed about this. You're this about this. What about this?" And so you kind of were like, oh, you were really learning there because I talked to my therapist about things about my body. So you were
Yep.
actually hearing like authentic feelings about how people feel about their body
Yep.
and the relationships or lack thereof with their body. And so that's great
Yes.
research within itself.
Yeah.
You know,
It was
yeah,
it was very powerful. I really, it was incredibly sacred space to be with a woman on a massage table, because there's a vulnerability when we lay on
yeah.
somebody's massage table,
Mm-hmm.
where we are entering into a relationship with ourselves, and everything would come up. And I really learned about women's trauma on all different levels, and how they felt about their body, and what had happened to their body, and what their beliefs were about their bodies.
Yeah, that's powerful work, and I love the work that you're doing, because it's needed. I don't even think it's a shift in perspective. I think it's creating a perspective.
Oh, I love that, Nita. I love that you said that. That's so exactly it. It's not a shift. It is creating a perspective that we do not have in our culture. And that is one of actually being in a supportive relationship with our body, a connected relationship, an authentic relationship with our body. That's ours. It's not determined by the body positivity movement of like, you're awesome. It just feels like empty to me. And I say that because I was a big believer in affirmations, and I tried, and I kid you not, 10 years looking in the mirror going, I love my body. And like the mirror would just like basically cackle back at me like, that's not true. You so don't. This is just like, you're trying, and you're trying hard, but like that's not happening. And I was like, there's no amount of me saying I love my body that's going to really work at the parts of me that are like, no, mm-mm, this isn't going to work. I had to heal that relationship.
Hmm.
And that's what we do to create a relationship of body peace. That's what we do, is the healing of the ruptures, of the old beliefs, of this well-worn neural pathways of body judgment. That's we do that when we create body peace practices for ourselves.
I love that. And even in relationships, like even with past relationships or people that's been assaulted and things of that
Mm-hmm.
sort, like that shapes the way you feel about your body too. Or you've
uh,
given your body to someone just to find out that they didn't even want to be with you for real.
yeah.
You've
Yeah.
like gave them everything, and now you're just left like, oh, I feel so, used, and you carry those type of emotions with you along the way in
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
That's real in women.
It is. How in our relationship, because women are so objectified,
Yes.
things have happened to our body and at our body, and that has left an impact. And so what we want to be is with our body and for our body, which is so different than what our culture models for us, and how many of us, too many of us, have been treated.
Yeah. Look at me. You got me quiet. That's hard to do, Nina.
Oh,
That's hard to do. So I don't even know where we're at in the question, but I will I will ask this one question before we ask the signature question is so it says, what's a powerful first step to folks who want to start stepping into the body peace path? And I know you've
yeah.
touched upon it. It's what we just said, is creating that perspective. And one thing about when you create something new, your old thinking fights with that. And so can you give us a little
Yes,
insight
yes,
on
yes.
how to enter that and let it stick?
Yeah. So one, I would say join a community. right? So I have different groups. I have Body Peace Keepers, Body Peace Sages. I have different courses, Compassionate Eating, Body Listening Lab, Body Peace Starter Kit. Join community, because what I see happens, I just did a retreat, the Body Peace Experience. When we're together, this was the thing I heard over and over last weekend was, wow, I'm not alone. I don't feel as ashamed. I'm not the only one dealing with this, right? We get so isolated in our relationship with our body and food. Like, what's the matter with me? It's not just you, it's our whole culture that's totally broken around this. So to be in this place of community and connection is very powerful. The other is support, right? Whether it's getting the Practicing Body Peace Journal, the Body Peace Masterclass, whether it's reaching out to me and saying, you know, let's have a session, or I want to join a group. Get guidance, get support. And in terms of making the change, I loved how you said, you know, you start to change, create a new perspective, and the old one freaks out, right? So when women go, well, wait, I'm not supposed to diet, but wait, but paleo, but keto, but intermittent fasting, but Weight Watchers, but slim fast, but, you know, that part, the inner dieter goes wild. What do you mean you have permission to eat food, any food you want? It's all going to go crazy. I'm going to eat everything, right? There's so much pushback when we say, you know what, I want to be in an authentic, caring relationship with my body where I honor myself. I honor my full. I honor my hungry. I honor my need for rest, right? We create a relationship that is for us and with us. That's what we want.
Love that. So how can people find you, Nina? Where can they find the app? Tell us all, like, how can we stay connected with you?
So the easiest place is my website. It's ninamanolson.com. And I know Manolson is a little tricky to spell. So if you go to Body Peace with Nina, all one word, .com, it'll take you to the same place. So Body Peace with Nina. And I'm on social. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok a little bit. I'm in all the places. And also reach out. If you need support, reach out. I have a lot of different resources, and I want to help, and I want women to feel differently in their body. I want them to feel like it's their home, and it's a good home.
Yes. And the app, is it on Android and Apple?
It is on both.
Okay. Is it free to join, or?
Yep, you can. There's a free. You can get the journal for free. You can get the masterclass for free. And then there's a wonderful paid program if you want to take it further. That's also in the app, which is the Body Peace Starter Kit.
Okay. Is that a monthly charge or annual?
No, it's a one-time.
Oh, and what is the one-time fee?
For the Body Peace Starter Kit, oh my gosh, now I'm not even remembering. It's like a 189, something like that. And then there's a 2-pay if you want. But it's a full program, but it's not a recurring. Those recurring ones make me a little crazy. So I'm like, just tell me what I'm paying you. Let me pay you, and let me stop paying you. That's just sort of my own personal preference, but
I love that. One time and it's yours, and you have a community, you have resources and access. I love that. I
Yep.
love that. I love that. And so here at BYOK, we have a signature question. And if you could describe yourself in one word, what would that be and why?
I have 2 words, but they're very short.
Go ahead.
So I would say I'm in. I'm in. I'm in for the relationship. I'm in for the ride of life. I'm in for the process. I'm in for the growth. I'm in for the learning. I'm in.
Wow, Nina, that's powerful. That's powerful. I'm in it to win it. Man, this like I said, you literally created a perspective today. I would have to say for myself, and I know that everyone listening probably have like some wheels turning and some light bulbs cutting on, because like I said, relationship with food we hear, a relationship with your body. This is the first time I've ever even heard a thing like that. So
Mm.
I thank you for creating a perspective. I thank you for breaking curses because it's
Mm.
generational. You know, our mom was told she need to be a certain way. Our grandma was told she's supposed to be a certain way, and back, and it's passed down. And by you breaking that thought pattern, now the daughters and the daughters' daughters and the daughters' won't feel that way. And so I just thank you for your work because it's
Mm.
very powerful and like life changing.
Nita, thank you so much. And that's what we need. We need this cycle to stop forever.
Yes,
We
yes,
need the next generation not to be wasting their time doubting themselves.
yeah, we do it, and this is needed. So, hey, listeners, download the app, get the journal, connect with Nina. Let's change the perspective. Let's change the narrative, and let's love us literally for who we are and be comfortable in who we are, while still changing the things we want to change, but changing it because we feel our body need it, not because someone's telling us to. Let's take more control over us. So,
Absolutely.
yes,
Absolutely, Nita.
yes.
Thank
And
you
thank you
so much.
again. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. And listeners, be kind to yourself, kind to your body, and be kind to others. And until next time, don't forget to be your own kind. Bye.